What's going on, guys? Jurassic here. Today we're playing Escape Simulator 2. You're going to notice one thing really cool about this game. It has one of the coolest loading screens, and not just that, you head over to this magical portal here. You have a couple different maps. You have the Dracula's Castle, the Lost Starship, and then the Cursed Treasure. Today we're going to be going into the tavern. Ahoy there, matey. Alright, so what do we have here? We have a jug. Ah, you clearly want the jug, right? There you go, mister. I'm dying to have a couple drinks right now. Could you help hop in the back and serve me some? Now, funnily enough, it puts you back there, but you can't actually do anything. So to start off, we're going to be using the Tavern Puzzle. This is found directly behind the skeleton on the back left if you were facing towards him. Alright, so our goal is going to be to try to get enough teeth inside the machine to do the puzzle successfully. But we only have 3 to start out with. Where's the rest? Well, there's 2 more found on side the table with the drummer itself. Alright, so let's see. So let's try all these and see if it does something different. Aha! So over in the corner of the room, right next to the rat's pistol, we have a monkey. Why is the monkey significant? Well, it is the drummer's favorite toy. 1, 2, 1, 1. Now that is going to be the list that we're going to need to be doing for the drummer. So we have 1 space 2 space 1 space 1. Aha! We have our first puzzle piece completed. Okay, so we got another one of these puzzles right next to the table where the skeleton was. We'll just leave that there for now. We can actually combine them. Okay, so over next to this bus, we have a statue called Ricky. It looks like we're going to need to match the symbols in order to complete the puzzle here. Let's see, so we have a fish and a conch shell. The pieces that are already laid out on the map, we can actually move, so we can't rotate them any. It looks like we're gonna have them connected in some way, shape, or form. We have a starfish and a feather. We have an anchor, another conch shell. That could probably go on the right side. Looks like we have a squid and a starfish. A starfish and a feather. That's not gonna line up with the other symbol. Okay, so what if we put that up top? Aha! Perfect. Alright, so this is the 3rd piece that we have so far. We still don't know where they actually go yet. Okay, so you put them inside of here, and then it looks like we're making a north, south, east, and west. So far, we only have 3, so unfortunately, we don't actually have access to all of them currently. So the left side is going to be a west. The top one's going to be the slash mark, so we're just going to have to move it to make an N. Then the one originally... going to need to pick that up and move it over to the right. There we go. And now we can make it east. So we're just missing 1 more puzzle piece. We'll be able to open up the bar. That shouldn't be too bad, right? Then maybe rotate this top one. That way it looks a little bit more like an N. I don't know how, like, sensitive the words are, if it, like, has to be dead on or not. Ooh, we can open up the chest. Aha! So we have our last piece of the puzzle. So let's get over here, open up the bar. We have our little skeleton friend who's been clearly waiting for a drink. Really like the animation in this game. All right, Murray. So you want a bubbling mixture, then a double shot of grog, and lastly, a mixture of mead. Okay, so hold on. Ooh, perfect. So we got bubbly is juice, mead, or grog. Let's see here. Am I supposed to like snap this into somewhere? No. Okay, so we have some random puzzle piece that we found in that drawer. We have labels. I don't know if the labels are going to matter. Ooh, what's this? It's a chest we seek. Let's see here. The biggest catch of the day. Okay, so we don't have any clues for that. So we have another plaque for beer, juice, What do you want us to do with this? Fill this... No? Oh, wait, hold on. There's another placard and a mug right behind us. Now, do we know exactly where the correct words are placed? Well, I'm not entirely sure, so we're just gonna have to test it out. Whenever we open up the spouts, they all look roughly the same. So if we do meat and juice, it should be a bubbly concoction, right? That does appear to be bubbly. Hold on. Mead or grog plus juice is bubbling. Yeah! All right, here you go, Mr. Murray. All right, so he wants mead and then a double shot of grog. The only problem is we kind of guessed where the grog was. I mean, last time it did work over here. Hold on, let's try to do it again. So juice, and then grog should make bubbly. If that's correct, then we should have grog in the right spot. It looks like it is bubbling. Let's give it back to him since we reset it. Alright, so I'm pretty sure grog is going to be on the right side since left side worked both times. So we're gonna double shot, so you want to pick up and drop it one more time. And then you hand it back to old Murray. We got 2 of them so far. Now the third one, what were you wanting again? I'm gonna mixture of mead and beer. Okay, so I believe that'd be on the left side for mead. Then the right side for beer. Now I'm not sure if the game is just going to call whatever you're labeling is the item, or if these are the exact perfect orders. We might have got really lucky, but you can see that we made the foam concoction. We hand it to Mr. Skeleton here. And Mr. Murray grants us a key. What do we do with said key? Well, we come around the corner here, go up the stairs, and try to figure out which slot it goes into. Looks like we have our first key. Ooh, okay, so we have orders on a table. Oh, okay, so there's a menu over here. So we have the Golden Treasure, the Flying Dutchman, Poseidon's Court, the Caped Hunter, and the Red Herring. So they list the different things that would need to be on the table for each different one. So as you can see, order number 1 is going to have the chicken and apples, plus the mushrooms. Order number 2 is going to be the Golden Treasure and Poseidon's Court. So Poseidon's Court is just boiled lobster, where the Golden Treasure is freshly caught oysters. Also here in case anyone wants to read that menu. All right, so while we're looking around, we can leave that down. So the table next to the window here, that's going to be number 2. As you can see, we have lobsters, we have oysters. That is good to go. All right, now table number 3 is going to want the Flying Dutchman and Poseidon's Court again. So chicken legs with apples and lobster. So that'd be this table right here. All right, and last but not least, we have the Caped Hunter and the Golden Treasure. So that'll be table number 4. Now it does say that every single table needs to have the correct plate on it. So if you happen to move the plates earlier on, be sure you move them to the correct table. You're going to notice each of the tables have their own unique symbol on them. For example, that one has not, where this one has more of the beer symbol. So make sure they all match. This one is going to need to have that, and you'll see the hooks. We took that from a previous table just to show an example. So make sure you move it back over to the correct table since that is currently in the incorrect spot. Mr. Hook, there's your mushrooms. And the rope comes over here into the corner. Grab this little thing, and it looks like we have us another key. What does the key do? It goes to this door. Alright. The Shanty's Battleship rules. You may mark all the ships on the board. Ships can be placed horizontally and vertically. No part of the ship may border another ship. So basically your goal is going to be to try to get as max amount of puzzle pieces possible. So the left side is the answer key, the right side is what we're trying to achieve. So the red ones are locked into place, Currently, you'll notice that we have 2. So the more dots that we add to the map, that's going to be to try to get it so it's actually adding towards these sides here. So the tricky part is going to be to figure out where we can actually get the longer ones, like the 4s and the 5s, since they're going to require a lot more connected dots. It's going to be a little bit more complicated. Okay, so if we remove the one on the bottom, we can have our 5th one. We can have 4 right there. Let's see. So we can't have them connected, so that wouldn't work there. The only thing we would be able to do is a 2. We turn that on, it's going to turn them off. Okay, so if we make that a 4, it looks like we have that good. So it's going to be 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, and then the 5 is going to be in the middle for anyone trying to figure it out on their own. Alright, so we have a whole bunch of different dice here. Let's see. Oh, that's a different symbol. Looks like we got some sort of waves. What did Sammy the cheater? Okay, so do we put the dice inside of here, maybe? So roll to 3. What about you? Roll to 4. Roll to 2. So 4, 3, 2 is the answers. So that one just looks normal. There's some sort of puzzle piece on it, but I'm not seeing like anything unique symbol-wise. Where the other ones looked very distinct. Ooh, okay, so these have like the little Argoid symbols. If you haven't played Elite Dangerous, that's kind of what it looks like. So that's always going to be a 4. So let's see. So inspect the box, go to 4 for that. Oh, maybe that's why. There's supposed to be a regular dot. Let's see. Waves. I don't think the little part where it's marked actually shows the answer. Yeah. Okay, so waves are 3. And then the dot's going to be a 2. We open up the chest. We have us another answer. Ooh, sweet. Okay, so we got key number 2. So once again, we come up the stairs, we put the key and slide the slot. Looks like we have one more key to find and somehow the hole. Wait, what's over here on the windowsill? Alright, so we have a unique piece. Ooh, okay, so that goes to the map. Looks like it's filling in some of the information that was hidden. We got this piece behind the bar earlier. Ooh, this is going to be for the chest that we found. Because we're looking for the whale, since that was the biggest catch that the bar's ever seen. So we need to get that exact coordinate, so that'd be GC24. Once again, we just fill in GC, and that turns into a 2. Ah, nice! Okay, so we got 3 different symbols. I believe this also goes behind the bar. There was another panel that we can put into. Now, if you guys didn't know, you can also pin the recipes to your screen. So like, for example, when you're trying to solve more complicated puzzles, you'll be able to do that. Let's see, do I just drag them into a new slot? Okay, so that locks into there. You can't do anything with. Perfect. Alright, so our goal is going to be to try to match all the symbols. So whenever we touch any of the symbols, we automatically take over the slot. So for example, the anchors, our goal is going to be to try to fill in all the anchors on the bottom. Then we'll focus on the sunshine. We'll go back to the anchors to get rid of the ones heading towards the Celtic wheel. And then the Celtic wheel will take over towards the bottom. The reason why to do that, the anchor and the Celtic wheel are the 2 closest ones, and the sun's going to need to have the furthest one away from it. So in my mind, it just makes sense to fill out those easier. So anchor, we come up and around, that's going to turn both those into anchors. And you'll see everywhere else is already matched up with it correctly. So then we can just go anywhere towards the top. We'll get the Celtic wheel again. We'll turn that, and then boom. And then now the door is open. We have key number 3. You thought this pirate curse would keep us stuck here. We have a hole though. All right. Ooh. They have a hat. Jack. Oh, wait a minute. This corresponds with one of the pictures on the wall. This guy over here. You know what, mister? We'll just put your hat there for now. All right, so your name is Jack. But how do we actually get the title for you? Well, if you look, it's got a glass with a lemon. And over on the wall behind us, they have a list of drinks here. Only one is a soft drink with a lemon. So Jack, you are actually the snake. Sir Henry was a fearless dog. He ravished high and wide. He only ever loved his gold and the devil on his flag. You don't really seem like a Sir Henry. However, you do have a devil on your flag. This is going to be found in the stairwell where we put the keys. It looks like we're going to need to find where his flag is since they are labeled around the top of the map there. So for example, it's going to be found above the pistol. It's called the menace. So Henry is going to be labeled as the menace itself. All right, so that leaves us with John. Snake's already filled though, so it can't be the snake and it can't be the menace since both of them are already over here. If we look, he has a saber and he has a pistol. The pistol is going to be the rat's pistol, so that means John is going to be the rat. As you can see, he has a pistol in the middle of his chest. But our last, but not least pirate is going to be Ricky. Ricky has the bust over the quarter, that's how we know that's his name. He is going to be the worthy. As you can see, it matches the same hat. That's sort of how I was doing it, is just whatever they're wearing is usually what they're going to be found with in the portraits. All right, so this chest over here, it looks like they correspond with each of the different portraits symbols on the bottom. So every single one of them has a highlighted area. So for example, the coin should be in the top right. As you can see, we have that. Shovels will be in the top left. Now that's going to be dependent on if you pick the correct titles. If you had chosen something other than the worthy, it wouldn't actually show inside that area. I suppose technically you could guess for this part, but it wasn't that hard to actually figure out the answers. Now this game itself, it is co-op. It is actually extremely hard, but it's a really good puzzle game. If you guys want to see more of Escape Simulator 2, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe, and let me know if you guys enjoy this. I tried to make it a little bit easier to follow through, so I edited it down to have the parts all connected together. That way it wasn't like completely spread apart. But as you see, once you get towards the end, you can take a photo, and you have officially conquered your first ever map inside of Escape Simulator 2. Also, for anyone curious, there is a dark map that is unlocked to be like a challenge mode afterwards.